Good afternoon, caller.
Good afternoon.
What's your first name? Where you calling from?
My name is Mary, and I'm calling from Jersey.
Hey, Jersey.
And I'm sick of listening to Umar. Umar, let's talk. Okay? First and foremost.
As Dr. Umar, it's the Dr. Umar.
Well, then act like a doctor and stop criticizing everybody. Bottom line, people who
non-emotional strategic thinking.
Hater. You are a black woman.
You're emotional, my sister. We can't win being emotional.
Dude, you criticize everybody. I ain't never seen you do anything for black people.
Hey, we're not going to attack our guests either.
Calm down, my beautiful African.
What's going on, guys? This is getting totally off the rails. Like, I know y'all seen the intro with the screaming black woman. This is what we're up against in this election, is a bunch of extremely emotionally charged people who literally want to argue you down because you don't want to blindly vote for Kamala Harris, a woman who is effectively pretending to be black. So a lot of information has been coming out about her heritage in relation to her mother and father, mother being completely 100% Indian, whereas the father is a mixture of Irish and Hindu. So no actual Jamaican / African blood in him. He just so happened to be born in Jamaica. It'll be the equivalent of you having a white person born in Africa. Technically they are African, but they wouldn't be considered black, right? They would clearly have white skin. This is a similar case. Kamala Harris is a fraud. I may do an entire video on that, but that aside for a moment, I want to talk about Dr. Umar, because this guy is notorious in the black community for being a somewhat divisive figure, because he basically kind of argues for old school black stuff, be it specific bills for black folks, right? He argues against like interracial marriages and stuff like that. But even though I don't agree with him on a lot of things, I do agree with him on basically everything or almost everything that he says in this video. So without further ado, I'm going to show y'all this extremely contentious and heated conversation.
Now, with our Asian American, South Asian American, occasionally black candidate, Kamala Harris, she sat in the White House with President Biden for 4 years and watched him pass an anti-Asian hate bill. She watched him pass an anti-transgender hate bill. She watched him give billions of dollars to Ukraine and Afghanistan. She watched him purge and gentrify black people out of Chicago and New York, among other cities, because we now know that there are migrant crises growing in other cities. And she did nothing. And this is after she said on an interview that she can't do anything just for black people. Well, if you can't,
I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit black people. No.
Do anything just for black people, Vice President Harris, how was it possible? Excuse me. How is it possible for you guys to do something just for gays, just for Asians, just for Native Americans, just for migrants? Complete contradiction. And so for me, at this point right now, with 3 months to go until the November 5th election, Baba David, I don't have a reason to vote for either of them. What have we been promised from Vice President Kamala Harris that would require us to vote? What have we been promised from former President Trump that would require us to vote? What I see going on, Baba David, is I am seeing dysfunctional identity politics where black people, many of whom claim that mixed race Africans are not black, but the same Negroes who will say that mixed race Africans are not black will call Kamala Harris black. So make up your mind. And she's not even 50%. She don't have a black parent. She has a mixed race parent.
I think even more so, I don't know if he's done the research on this, but again, anything that I've looked into has demonstrated that Kamala Harris's father is mixed with Irish and Hindu. There's literally video of him out there, and he has a slightly Hindu accent.
it was certainly a well-conceived title and a rather neatly, in my judgment, expressed point of view. This is a title of an article, for those of you who haven't seen it, in the New Republic of March 13th, 1989.
And if you look at his features, he looks quite Indian to me rather than black or any type of Jamaican that I've ever seen.
For those who are into identity politics, she doesn't meet the criteria of being black by many of their standards. So I'm hearing black people say I'm going to vote for her just because she's black. But according to many American Africans' definition of being black, because many of us reject mixed race, I don't. I'm a Pan-Africanist, I don't. But many of them reject mixed race Africans, but they're qualifying Kamala Harris because they need to believe in her so badly.
Well, I mean, who else have we really had put up on a pedestal that is really a full-blooded, or at least has the appearance of being black? I mean, you pretty much got what? Herman Cain, Tim Scott, and Ben Carson, right? At least on the conservative side. But on the Democrat side, where they actually accept black people, because they don't accept black conservatives, but they do accept black Democrats. On the Democrat side, I mean, the only person I can think of is what? Obama, Cory Booker, and Kamala Harris, and Elizabeth Warren. At least she thought she was mixed with something colored, but she wasn't actually Indian or whatever she was claiming to be. I remember when Trump was calling her Pocahontas back in the day because she was faking her race. And in my opinion, that seemed to work. Like, basically, people are questioning the strategy here. It wouldn't work if Trump was wrong, even though he's not the one that's kind of made this a thing. He just kind of noticed the obvious. But if Trump was wrong about it, like with the whole Obama thing, that'd be a different story. This is a whole nother situation where Obama is actually mixed with black. Kamala Harris ain't mixed with black at all. I can't find any evidence of that being true. So in my opinion, this isn't a situation that the conservatives could possibly lose on. If anything, it's exposing Kamala as a fraud.
Just because they have a checkbook, just because they have money, I think we would call that the definition of insanity.
Or
But
impulse
telling
buying.
black people just because they can, to me, is ridiculousness. And we also have to keep in mind as well, Baba David, that the main strategy used to influence black people to vote is fear. That is how they get black people out to vote.
Absolutely.
The number one propaganda point that you hear being pushed by the Democratic Party plantation slaves is if you don't vote for Kamala Harris, Trump will win. That's not a reason to vote. I'm going to vote because Kamala Harris has promised to build industries in the black community that is going to give our people jobs.
We have Cynthia on the phone line, but before we go to Cynthia, I want to reiterate again that you appear to have a lot of negative things to say about Kamala, but I don't hear you say a lot of negative things about Donald Trump.
We can talk about Trump if you want.
I don't want
black people
I don't want to talk
about
negative
Trump.
about anybody.
No,
That's
but
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying.
saying is,
This guy basically wants him to say bad things about Trump so bad. So I haven't watched the whole thing, but I've listened to a lot of this. And Dr. Umar here did say a lot of negative things about Trump, but that's not enough. They want to have a Trump bashing podcast in a vote for Kamala podcast. That's what it seems like they want. But if anybody knows anything about Dr. Umar, that was never going to happen because he is smart enough to where he recognizes that putting illegal migrants in black communities does not help black communities to prosper and grow. A floundering economy does not help black communities grow. Like, if America is on a path of destruction, then that means that, you guessed it, the black community is on a path of destruction.
or East Indians. I'm loyal to African liberation. So if you want to talk about Trump, let's talk about Trump. But nobody's going to sit here and act like I'm a Trumper or a Trump loyalist. I'm not voting for him, and I just gave you two big reasons why. But I am not going to endorse this woman just because she claims to be black when it benefits her. I'm not doing it. And it's
All right, well, let's talk to Cynthia on the
because
phone
of her
line.
identity.
Good afternoon, Cynthia.
Well,
Look at the way this man head froze.
We have somebody on the phone, Dr. Omar.
Yes.
I'm almost forgetting what I wanted to ask.
It's all right.
I've been on here so long. Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Dr. Omar, I heard you say that we need to listen to both Kamala and Trump. I don't want to listen to Trump no more. I don't want to hear anything he says
Emotion.
because I know who he is. We don't need to keep listening to him. Okay? We
And why
know
should we
what
listen
he's
to her?
to do.
And we're listening to her. Why, my sister? We're listening to Kamala Harris.
But
Why?
let
I
me-
understand
let
you
me
don't want to listen to
finish.
Trump. Why
No,
should we
no,
listen
no,
to her?
no. No, you won't let me finish. Can I
I'm
finish?
asking a question. Why should we listen to her?
Don't let me. I want to finish. I need no more information about Trump. Anyone that wants to uphold him and vote for him, they're foolish. Kamala Harris, I'm choosing her because of some positive things she has done. Now, it's not 100%.
Like what?
It's not 100%.
Like what?
A few things. I mean, I'm not here
What?
on the phone to do that. But
What
I
has
don't
she
hear you
done for
telling
black
me I got to listen to Trump.
people? You said she's done some things. Well, you ain't gave me an answer yet. What has
Silence. She doesn't have an answer. She don't know. She just want to vote for Kamala because she pretending to be black and she thinks that she's black because a lot of our people are gullible as fuck. That's what's really going on. People are just gullible, foolish. I mean, how the hell do you think you got people like this dude up in the corner here, David Barnes? This dude is old. Some people in my family are old, and they're trying to support the Democrats, the tyrannical left. So they basically been tricked their whole life, and they're still getting tricked. So of course, this lady is overloading her brain to think deeper than, well, she's done some good things. He says, like, what? She don't know, man. You pressing her on it is not gonna make her think harder about it. It will make some other people, but I guarantee you, this lady, no matter what you say, is gonna vote for Kamala regardless. The only thing that people like this understand is when they lose their house, when somebody they know dies, heaven forbid, because of horrendous policies from some illegal migrant, some crime, things like that. These people have to have life literally bitch smack them. Then they understand. Then they're like, wow, I was such a fool. I was so dumb. But until then, they're going to keep being foolish.
No, you beat the sister up. I apologize, Cynthia. He coming kind of hard on you, but and I think you seem to be so negative towards Kamala, but you just sweet. You're trying to be sweet to Donald Trump. I don't understand that. It seems like you're being anti-black.
I'm being anti-black by not voting for a woman who's anti-black. Please explain that.
I don't know how you can say that you're anti-black
by not voting for a woman who's anti-black. Please
I don't know. I ain't seen it being anti-black.
Why? How is she anti-black though, Dr. Omar?
Because she sat in an interview. It's all over YouTube. I'll send you the clip where she was asked what was she going to do for black people when she got elected.
They all say that. Every mayor we've had in Philadelphia said the same thing. I'm not the mayor of Black Philadelphia. John Street said it. All of them say it. Barack Obama said the same thing.
These fools are saying, hey, all the Democrats that we voted for didn't do anything for us, so let's just vote for Kamala anyway. That's what they all do, the same thing. You cannot make this stuff up, guys. He's saying, well, they all say the same thing. They all do the same thing. But as long as it's not Trump, that's what these idiots think. And yes, idiot is the proper word because there's no thought here. The brain is not processing. It's not computing. How else do you describe it? Like when I was younger and I supported the radical left, I didn't have all of this information. This is way more information than there used to be out here. These people are literally having active conversations with people exposing the truth, and they still don't want to listen.
She said we're not going to do anything. She said we're not going to do anything just for black people.
Those
are her exact words.
But
her exact words, I am quoting her. We are not going to do anything just for black people.
That is so. It looks like she was talking. I mean, see, Dr. Omar, you were talking about not as being emotional, but it looks like
You're defending
really
white
emotional,
supremacy.
don't
I just want y'all to be clear. You're defending white supremacy, and you ain't getting me one reason why we should vote for her yet.
Or him.
Neither one of you have
This
given me
the-
a single reason why black.
This dude is obsessed. Said, well, you haven't told us why you should vote for him either. I can tell you plenty of reasons. Closed border, great economy, no wars. That's enough for me. That's really all Dr. Umar wants all kinds of stuff. That's all I need because that allows me to the ability to prosper. It allows us to live the American dream. Be you black, white, Indian, Asian, any type of American, LGBTQ, young, old, it don't matter. Everybody can prosper under good economic, peaceful conditions. Under chaos, like the type of conditions we have today, nobody can prosper with it. Maybe a few billionaires, and even they eventually start to kind of struggle because they're like, wait a minute, I can't make more money. They start losing money. In money, everything's finite. Don't think that a billionaire can't be taken down.
People should vote for Kamala Harris. You
Or
want them to
Donald
vote,
Trump.
but you ain't got a reason for this.
But you don't say that. You don't say either
that's
or.
why
You
we
say
never
keep
get
talking
nowhere.
about- We got Wes on the phone line from Southwest Philadelphia.
My name is Mary, and I'm calling from Jersey.
Hey, Jersey.
And I'm sick of listening to Umar. Umar, let's talk. Okay? First and
As
foremost.
Dr. Umar, it's the Dr. Umar.
Well, then act like a doctor and stop criticizing everybody. Bottom line, people who
Emotions, non-emotional strategic thinking.
Hater. You are a black woman.
We're emotional, my sister. We can't win being emotional.
Dude, you criticize everybody. I ain't never seen you do anything for black people.
Hey, we're not going to
Before you
attack our
stand
guests
your-
either.
Calm down, my beautiful African citizen.
All right, calling from New Jersey.
Thank
We
you.
got your point. Thank you so
Calm
much.
down, Queen.
Because, I don't want
Power today.
I don't want nobody attacking our guests. It's like I don't want nobody attacking our callers. And you have seemed to be mighty emotional yourself today, Dr. Umar. We all are. Because this is a very touchy situation. We're seeing different.
This, guys, and believe it or not, the sad thing is I know a lot of black women who are just like that caller. As soon as you say something that they cannot handle emotionally, then all of the hooting and the hollering starts and all of the logic goes out of the window. It's complete nonsense. And this is one of the things that we have to strongly combat within this community, be it the black one, and the world, because a lot of people are very irrational and emotional thinkers, emotional voters. That's what Kamala's counting on. That's what we got to make sure that we get rid of and we fight against. Otherwise, she could win.
A single reason why black people should vote for Kamala Harris. You
Or
want them to
Donald
vote,
Trump.
but you ain't got a reason for this.
But you don't say that. You don't say either
That's
or.
why-
That's-
Can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Yes, I hear
We
you.
can hear you.
Okay, I wanted to direct my comments specifically to Dr. Umar, if
Yes.
I may. And Dr. Umar, as a black man who lives here in Philadelphia, I am an elder, and I simply want to say to you, I appreciate the fact that you speak, act, and walk as a black man, and that you do so unapologetically, because there seems to be a concerted effort across the country right now to force black men to stand in line, to get in line, and to sort of get on board with everything we're being told. You're asking them to deny reality right in our faces as we're being deprioritized. Oh boy, you're being devalued, and you're being pushed aside by other people who have not made similar contributions to the United States. They're being given things in your face. So thank you for standing up.
I don't know who this brother was at the end, but he has a great point, because here's the whole crux of this thing, guys. All Americans are being slapped in the face as it relates to Ukraine, hell, even the whole Israel situation, in all of this migrant crisis nonsense where all of these tax dollars are being funneled to migrants. They're taking everybody's money to do it. So they're slapping everybody in the face doing that. And then they're just throwing all the migrants in like black and Hispanic communities, mostly black communities. And then want to turn around and be like, okay, black people, it's time, line up and vote for Kamala again so we can not give you anything again, and we can keep funneling all your money and resources and communities to illegal migrants. It doesn't make sense at all. And this guy, whoever this caller was, clearly understood the assignment that, hey, we need to be more demanding. Now, again, I'm not going to get into all the stuff that Dr. Umar loves to demand, but just in general, in terms of demanding something in return for your vote, I agree with that concept. Ain't nobody about to get out here and vote for somebody fake black. Even if Kamala was fully black, I still wouldn't just support it. Let's say it was Michelle Obama. I wouldn't be voting for Michelle Obama because I don't agree with Democrat philosophy of crazy open borders, screwed up economy, and then lying about it, like lying her ass off about it like all the time. I don't agree with running a country like LGBTQ first and like all of this woke Palestinian stuff. Just woke on top of woke on top of woke, ridiculous far leftist progressive policies destroy countries, and they're destroying America, as you can plainly see. But guys, we got a lot of work to do because this election's getting closer. After they took Sleepy Joe out and staged a coup, the numbers started tightening up a lot. So be sure to drop a like on this video, share the video out, subscribe if you're new, and make sure that you hit the bell so you get notifications. Like, follow me on Twitter, spread every message, every video, every post that you possibly can. Talk to everybody you can, even if you don't feel like arguing, try to people that are stubborn, because we need everything we've got to defeat the radical left. Like Donald Trump said, they're going to cheat. So we need to make sure that we're so far ahead in numbers that they fail. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new. I appreciate y'all watching the Black Anomaly Rising channel. I'm out.
Out of the aisle with our Asian American, South Asian American, occasionally black candidate Kamala Harris. And we also have to keep in mind as well, Baba David, that the main strategy used to influence black people to vote is fear. That is how they get black people out to vote.